What's going on, YouTube? Big Dog Brett. I wanted to go over the upcoming game, Austin Peay versus UGA at UGA. Obviously, it's going to be another one of those games where Georgia is paying for other schools to stay open. So, we invite these teams to come by so we can beat the ever living crap out of them and give them a check and send them home happy. They don't really come in expecting to win, which, they shouldn't. And it gives us a chance to warm up and get used to the season. A lot of people say, Georgia needs to schedule harder teams. Well, no, we don't. Just continue to win and we get to the end of the season. If we're undefeated, we go through the SEC championship, we're going to be in the playoffs. Hell, Alabama last year proved that you didn't even have to win the SEC championship to go to the playoffs. So just continue to win and we'll be just fine. Also, as far as the strength of schedule, guys, stop. Other teams out there like Alabama have been scheduling cupcakes at the beginning of their season all year long, and then you hear a bunch of whining and crying and complaining from the Big 12 and the Big 10 and the Big 35 and the Big 101 or whatever the hell they got out there that ain't worth playing. We got to play every team in the conference. Well, fine, that's how you scheduled your stuff. Don't expect us to do that. That's your decision. If you want to go over there and punch yourself in the face, have at it. We know better. We have more championships down here than you guys ever thought about having, so shut up. At least in the past decade or two. So, SEC kinds of tend to know what they're doing. We proved it last year. So, the national champ is an SEC team. The SEC champ is another SEC team. So, we must be pretty doggone good down here. Anyway, I want to go over to Austin Peay, kind of my feel of what I think is going to happen in that game. I really think that Georgia is going to just absolutely demolish Austin Peay. I don't see any way that this team can compete with Georgia. Their roster is really short. Half their guys are on red shirt, and that's what they're putting on the website. And they got like 3 or 4 wide receivers that are 5'5", 5'7", 5'8". Now they do have some 6'2" guys out there, but they ain't got a whole lot of them. And some of those 6'2" guys are redshirted anyway. So I don't see them throwing the ball a lot. They got a whole bunch of tight ends. They're probably going to try a bunch of little quick screen passes, and Georgia's secondary is just going to eat them alive. Their offensive line is decent size, but not very deep. Their defensive line is not big at all. So Georgia's offensive line, which is huge, by the way, the Great Wall of Georgia, is not going to have any problem pushing those guys around, making holes. If you're talking about guys that are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 300 plus pounds, 320 plus pounds, leaning on you for an hour, guys, I don't care how boss of a boss you think you are. I'm no small guy. And there's no way I could compete with those guys. I don't know any decent sized guy that could. Now, I'm no big guy. I'm no big guy. But there's no way that I would be able to, or anybody I think my size would be able to go out there and compete with a 6'5", 320 pound college athlete. And some of these guys coming from these other schools, they're just kind of playing football to have something to do. Maybe they're hoping that they can move up into a D1 school, but some of these guys are just playing football to play football. They have no aspirations of trying to become an NFL player. You put a whole string of 6'5" guys on the front 5 of Georgia. That's what they're looking to do. They're looking to go pro, so they take it very seriously. And there's nobody out there that's going to make me believe that Austin Peay has a better program for building NFL athletes than Austin Peay does. Georgia's got a way better program than Austin Peay will ever have. At least in the next 20, 30 years of the foreseeable future. So anyway. So I want to talk about some of the running backs. Georgia's going to come out. We're going to have Holyfield. We're going to have James Cook. We're going to have obviously Swift. We're going to have a lot of guys that are going to be coming out there that's going to be ripping up the field, especially with this big front 5. It's going to be able to create all kind of gaps and holes and eat up defenders and push them out of the way and push them around. Georgia's just going to have their way, and that's even with SEC schools. These these schools that we're playing, Georgia's not going to have any problem making these guys give up before the half. They have no aspirations to come in and win. This is going to be a slaughter. Georgia's going to come in and hang 40, 50 points on the board, make a statement, and just say, hey, here we are, SEC champs. You're going to deal with us. You're going to respect us. I don't care what the polls say about being ranked number 1, number 2, number 3, number 35. I don't care. Excuse me. Georgia's going to continue to win. And as they do, we're going to continue to move up in the rankings. I don't care what we're ranked initially. It doesn't matter. Those guys always get those wrong anyway. So, now, you're going to see something happen here probably around, I'm going to say probably around, I almost want to say in the second quarter, but I want to hold off and say third. You're going to see Fields come in. You're going to hear a lot of cheers and clapping for that guy to come in. That is not to take away from what Jake Fromm has done. Jake Fromm is the leader of this team. Jake Fromm is going to be the guy who starts the game, even though Kirby may not have announced it yet. I'm going to go ahead and announce it for you. Jake Fromm is going to be starting this game. Jake Fromm is going to go out there and sling that ball around, and he's going to make us look real good. We've got a great receiving core now. Georgia's going to be able to really kind of pass the ball almost at will, and you're going to see that open up the running game, and the running game is going to absolutely destroy people. That's it. That's all you need to know. So once they put Justin Fields in, here's where it gets really nasty. Justin Fields is going to be able to do pretty much anything he wants to. Because the moment that you have that front five that can create those holes like that, and Justin Fields has proved that he can throw the ball downfield 4 or 5 times and pretty much to anybody he wants to, that line is going to try and hold, but that secondary is going to back up, and because they're going to be worried he's going to throw the ball. And then you're going to see the Georgia front five create a hole for Justin Fields, and he is going to go downfield in a hurry. The guy's an amazing athlete. And if you don't believe that, go watch some of his highlights. The guy's scary good. He's scary good. Now, me and a family member of mine, a good close friend of mine, had a conversation about what do we think was really going to happen the first game, the first play, first series. He thinks that Jake Fromm's going to just zip the ball downfield for a touchdown or for a big play, big pass. And I think what Georgia's going to do is, I think Georgia's going to kind of hold off on that until we play South Carolina. I think that Georgia's going to be looking for just a ground and pound, just get some work in, get some guys used to filling their position, giving the defense an opportunity to kind of feel things out, you know. But I think that when we get to the Carolina game, that's when you're going to see kind of some of the pop and flair come out of that offense. I think Georgia's probably going to put 200 to 300 yards on the ground and probably 150 in the air, if not more. I mean, it's going to be a massacre. Austin Peay may come out and score 10 or 14 points, which wouldn't surprise me because they're probably still better than Tennessee at this point. But this is just going to be a demolition. They may not say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is a revenge year for Georgia. Not going to sit here and drag up the past about the Alabama game, but we've all got our feelings about it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was super excited that Georgia made it to the national championship to be in contention, but I still want a national championship, and all the Dog fans do. And I think that this year Georgia's going to prove that we don't rebuild, we just reload. And Georgia's going to continue to do that. We've got a lot of players that we want to see come to the games, and we want to sway them over and have them come be at Georgia, and that's what we're going to do. So if you're standing in Georgia's way this year, you better find a way to do more than just stop the run game, because the run game ain't all we got. This year, we have 2 5-star, unbelievable quarterbacks, and we've got several 5-star running backs in the backfield. We got an offensive line to be reckoned with. We have a defense that is going to be just fine. We have some of the very best defensive coordinators in the country. They could take anybody. They could take anybody and make them amazing. So I'm not worried a bit. Georgia gonna go all the way. Now, oh, by the way, if you made it this far into the video, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Jump down in the comment section. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you think. I'd be glad to come down there and comment with you guys. Also, if you want to help sponsor the show, go over and check us out on the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/BigDogBrett. We'd love to have you come help us out and make the show better. This year, I'm going to be going to more of the Georgia games, move closer to the Athens, Atlanta area. So not terribly far from the games. We'll be able to go to quite a few of them, hopefully. I'm going to do some of the shows there. If you want to get your name mentioned on the show, if you want me to recognize you at some of these games, I'll be glad to throw your name out there, give you a shout out from the game. Just go ahead and sponsor us over the Patreon page if you don't mind very much. Also, anybody that you want to, pass this on to, we'd love to hear from those guys as well. So anyway, guys, This year's going to be a great year. This is going to be the first this is going to be the first game of many games where Georgia destroys whoever they play. So I'm looking forward to see Georgia get in there and just kicking ass left and right. And hopefully I'll be able to go to some of these games and show it off. But Georgia's on the way, guys. Y'all better get ready for them dogs, because they coming. As always, Big Dog Brett, and go Dogs.